Okay everybody, just doing a little update video on my newest little build here, which you can see is a tiny arcade Pi. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be placing a Raspberry Pi 0W inside one of these tiny arcades. So you can see here, I'm currently running Donkey Kong on this little tiny arcade. And basically at this point, I'm still just waiting for one little piece, but I do have most of it working. I have a 1.44 inch screen. The controls here are wired up. I do want to add a couple more controls for coins, select, and some other functions. I'll have the marquee working as well. Right now that's not connected. But I do have sound and a bunch of these games running inside here. So let's take a look at me trying out Donkey Kong. Now I'm not sure how well the screen comes across on the camera, but it's very crisp. It's small, but it's very crisp. This does get some of the sounds working, but my joystick works here, my button works, as you can see. This is the, as far as I know, the smallest arcade machine running a real Donkey Kong ROM. I know Pseudomod, they have a smaller unit, but it's not in an arcade cabinet. So this is the absolute smallest ever done in an arcade cabinet as far as I know. And we have more than just Donkey Kong on here. So I'll hit the my computer keyboard out here for a moment. And I have it set up to automatically load a few ROMs because it's quite impossible to read what's going on the screen. So here we have Carnival running on a soon to be completed tiny arcade. You can see it's still got the parts, some of them still sticking out. It's very, very, very tight, but that's what I kind of like, that kind of challenge. So here's some Carnival. Again, some of the sounds aren't working yet. I still have more work to do on it. I did start a new job last week, so that's kind of been taking up most of my time. So my time to work on this has been extremely limited. But I did want to give a small update to show you some of the things I've got going on in here. Little Donkey Kong Jr. The controls all work really, really well. It's just, again, I'm doing it through a viewfinder right now, which is never easy to do, especially playing on something that's small. But the screen is incredibly sharp, although it is low resolution, so reading text and scores is a challenge, to say the least. But as you can see here, the gameplay itself is, oh, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Oh, I didn't make it. So as far as playing the actual games, like these older games, the resolution is fine. You can make out everything, and that's fine. But trying to read any text or anything like that is going to be quite impossible. But as you can see, the little joystick works great. The buttons work great. And I'm still not good at gaming, but that's another story. But again, I just wanted to show this the progress here. I've been working on this on and off for a few months. Mostly I'm waiting for parts and then just actual time to work on it. But it's not too far from being completed. It's really at this point a couple little things I want to add just to make it the way I like it. But I have it running off a battery. I have it running on a small screen. The build is all done. Here's the little monkeys. Oh! Nailed. Let's see what else we have put on here. So when all said and done, it'll be all self-contained. It'll be running on a very small battery, again, limited because of the size. So the runtime may only be like 30 to 40 minutes. I haven't actually tested it yet because, to be honest, the battery I have is an old battery I just had lying around. But also, again, the space is extremely limited in here. The fact I got a battery in it at all was a challenge. I'm using an Adafruit 1000, actually this one a 500C, a Raspberry Pi W, and a 1.44-inch screen. Got some Ladybug going on here. The joystick works really well. Actually, really well. Very responsive. Let's see what else we have on here. And you can see with my hand, you know, the size difference we're talking about in these tiny arcades. I don't have big hands at all, but you can see how small that it is. We have some Mappy. Let's see what else we got going on here. Bye, Mappy. Very fitting, since Miss Pac-Man was built off of the Pac-Man unit. Let's play some Miss Pac-Man. And the joystick for this is perfect. The joystick is very responsive. Let's see what else we got going on here. Hello, Phoenix. Again, it looks fine. I mean, I'm looking through a viewfinder, but when you look at the screen itself, it's really bright, sharp. Now, the screen is being used as what's called an SPI display. It's not as fast as HDMI or composite, so some games won't run very well with it. But on these old classic games, it's fine. Let's see what other games we got going on here. Qbert. Now again, the joystick itself is responsive, but it's not set up specifically for angles, so let's see how this works. Whoop, right off to my death. So something like this could be relatively fixed relatively easily, but we'll be really taking the joystick out and modifying it a little bit, but it can be done. But to be honest, it's really not bad. As long as you go force yourself up to an angle, it's just hard to do holding everything the way it is right now. Scramble. Again, 2 buttons are great for this. I'm sure my fingers are blocking more of the screen than anything. Let's see what else we got here. I think this is Star Castle. It is Star Castle. I haven't gotten the sound. I don't know if you can even see that. I could see it on the screen, but it's a vector screen, so we'll skip on to another one. It's just hard to see for you guys. Some Zaxxon. Again, the sound is working, but I don't have the samples on this version of MAME. At least you can see the graphics. Works pretty well. What else do we have here? I think that might have been it. Oh yes, I had to put Tron on here. But with Tron though, I got to add some extra buttons on here, which I haven't done so yet. So when this is all done, it'll simply boot up into Emulation Station. So this has definitely been the biggest challenge for me. Again, this is not the smallest Raspberry Pi device. Pseudomod, I believe, has a couple of units that are smaller. But this is the smallest you'll see in a little mini arcade machine, that is for sure. So it should be done relatively shortly, but I still have a couple more things to do on it. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update video on this current project. So everyone, thanks for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everyone who already has, and all the feedback I've received from everyone. But for now, until next time, everyone, game on. Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.